In this week's program, we're visiting with North Dakota Game and Fish Director Jeb Williams, and we're going to talk about some of the highlights in 2025 and some of the challenges moving forward. I'm Mike Anderson with the North Dakota Game and Fish Department. Jeb, a year ago we had something pretty unique, a Habitat and Access Summit. Why did we have that?
We wanted to bring a lot of people together to talk about the future of hunting in North Dakota, the hunting, the habitat, access, a lot of things that we hear from an awful lot of people, and we know folks have a lot of good ideas and input on how to sustain the high hunting culture, the strong hunting culture that we have in North Dakota. And we're fortunate, the timing of it, that we had elected a brand new governor in North Dakota, and so Governor Armstrong was just starting his term, and we're very fortunate to be able to have him kick off the Habitat and Access Summit with a really moving speech to everybody in attendance.
Jeb, right after the Habitat and Access Summit, legislative session, and some of the things that came out of the Habitat and Access Summit took legislative action.
Yeah, so I mean, one of the things that we heard loud and clear at the Habitat and Access Summit, and of course, you know, we teed up that conversation and we wanted to talk about habitat and want to talk about access, but how do we do it? How do we do that in North Dakota, you know, having to partner with private landowners first and foremost, as you know, they are the premier landowners in the state, and as far as land ownership patterns go, and so it's very important that we have that partnership and you know, whatever we build that is compatible with their operations. And so you know, one of the things that again we heard loud and clear was just the need for additional habitat and need for additional access, and so getting some extra funds to be able to move the needle on that. And so we talk a lot about that in legislative session with our plots program. And as a self-funded agency, that comes from people with license fees, and so we had a strong support from our you know, hunters and anglers to increase fees to be able to go towards the things that they really value and appreciate.
Jeb, the legislative session takes a lot of time, for you especially, and a lot of other game and fish staff. But the things don't stop with the department. We continue to do things even during the session. Explain that a little bit.
Yeah, it's a really important aspect. You know, obviously the legislative session takes a lot of time for, you know, probably a handful of people, but you know, a lot of support from staff within the department as well. But they're still doing their jobs that are really critical to the you know, day in and day out operations of the department. And you know, hunter education, for example, you know, we're still continuing to certify around 4,500 you know, new students each and every year, certifications, and you know, that's critical that time of year. And then those banquets are also going on at that time of year, which is an opportunity for us to show our appreciation to those volunteer instructors. And so it's some really good things still happening that time of year that really make the department go around.
Jeb, we move into spring, and that's when the fisheries crews just go at it hard.
They do, not sometimes in the best of conditions, right? Sometimes literally busting ice to get out there with, you know, egg collection process, and which is so critical to our stocking efforts in North Dakota. You know, we have a unique relationship with 2 federal hatcheries in North Dakota, and of course that's one of the responsibilities of us is, you know, the egg collection process, delivering those then to the hatchery for the rearing process, and then you know, further down in the summer in return, then we're going out and stocking those, you know, fingerlings and in place in our fisheries in North Dakota. But that spring season is critical from the data collection aspect of you know, our wildlife as well. That's when their new year starts, as far as going out and looking at how things fared the winter and you know, getting that baseline information. So a lot happens with both our fisheries and wildlife division in the spring of the year.
Jeb, moving into open water fishing. I mean, we've had some of the best fishing over the last decade that we've ever had.
Continue to, yeah. I mean, it's really exciting to be able to see the opportunities, and you know, we know Devil's Lake and Lake Skakawea and Lake Oahe, of course, get a lot of attention in North Dakota, as they should. They're very important waters and recreational aspects when it comes to our fisheries. But you know, we've just been so fortunate to have, you know, the good work of our fisheries division that has expanded those opportunities into our prairie lakes, and it continues to be managed at a very high level. And you know, again, the partnership and the stocking rates that we're seeing in some of those areas, and then the growth growth that goes along with that in some of those literally prairie pothole lakes that have such good aquatic resources in them that make those fish grow at a pretty fast rate. So we're really fortunate to have those opportunities across the state.
Do you have some other things the Game and Fish Department does and has done for the last 30 years is the North Dakota State Fair?
So a long-standing initiative that the department has had is being present at the North Dakota State Fair with their Conservation and Outdoor Skills Park, and just a really great opportunity for the department to interact with the public, and literally thousands of people go through there each and every day. Some, to go in there to fish, to archery shoot, to visit with Game and Fish. Some to go in there and just, maybe get in the shade a little bit, but then also have the opportunity to engage with, some outdoor activities. And so, really a good effort that continues to be in place there to interact with the public.
Jeb, before we move into our fall hunting seasons, let's talk about our game wardens as well.
Yeah, so, over the last couple of years, we've had a lot of turnover with, in our enforcement division with retirements, and, lots of really good young professionals hitting the field, and I've really encouraged, folks at a lot of our public meetings that, to get to know and introduce, yourselves to these new young professionals that are out in the field and really are the face of the agency. That's usually what most people, think about when they think about the Game and Fish Department is maybe an experience they've had with one of our enforcement folks. And most of the time, that's a quality experience. It's an educational experience. It's not necessarily a negative experience. And so we feel good about, again, that the turnover that's taken place there with the young professionals that have been able to fill the shoes of some of our folks that have been here for a long time.
Jeb, let's talk fall hunting seasons.
We really saw some good results this fall, from pheasants and grouse and partridge. And there were some areas in the state, I think, when we talk about, our sharp-tail numbers that were maybe down a little bit compared to, what they have been in previous years. But that wasn't across the state. That was in certain areas, certain pockets. But partridge numbers continue to show, see numbers that people haven't seen for many years, which is nice bonus for people to have. But of course, pheasants usually kind of take the show when it comes to the bird that people are really after. And so we did see really nice pheasant numbers this year. Some areas, as always, better than others, and some areas a little bit maybe head scratching as far as the reproduction that we didn't see maybe, but we had some pretty volatile weather patterns in some areas as well, which can make a difference.
Jeb, how about waterfowl and big game?
Yeah, so waterfowl hunting again continues to be very popular, with of course people coming into North Dakota and we're trying to do some different things to promote waterfowl hunting a little, more for, people in state as well too, just because we have seen some numbers decline. But again, some good opportunities there, both from a resident waterfowl population, but then obviously the migratory, population that we see, coming from the prairie provinces of Canada. So overall, pretty good waterfowl year, kind of an extended fall to provided some pretty good opportunities.
Jeb, how about our big game numbers?
Yeah, so a lot of discussion, of course, about deer. I probably won't talk about that a lot, Mike. I think across the board, a lot of public opinion, and within the department, I think everybody'd like to see more deer on the landscape. Although there are some nice pockets of deer across the state in some areas, there's no doubt. But then there's other areas that we would like to see growth in that area, and we're going to continue to be conservative in our license allocation to try to improve on that where we can. There's some challenges out there with disease, some challenges with simple carrying capacity issues out there as far as what the landscape can hold with deer numbers. But we're gonna keep working on all that.
Jeb, positive with the big three, though.
Yeah, moose, elk, and sheep continue to be, real positive thing, and we know it's competitive drawing that license out there. But for the individuals that are able to draw that license, some really good success out there, and especially with elk, we're really seeing elk numbers expand across the state. And this year we had a new unit open up in the north central part of the state, managing a group of elk that have been on the landscape up there for a while, but also seeing some expansion with that. So actually managing that area in particular, and so that's positive for people that want to hunt elk in North Dakota, because we know that opportunity is there. people would definitely like to see more opportunities. And moose, again, continue to thrive and do pretty well in the areas, and especially the north central, northwest part of the state. But also showing up in the southwest part of the state, to where definitely not traditional moose habitat, but certainly something that is unique for people to see. And bighorn sheep, just some really good numbers that we're seeing on the landscape, and a really unique opportunity that we had in partnership with MHA Nation, to where back in 2018, bighorn sheep were moved back into North Dakota on tribal lands, on MHA Nation lands, in a unique opportunity and partnership. And fast forward to this year, those sheep numbers have done so well that there was availability for harvest. And so one tribal member and one North Dakota lottery hunter were able to successfully harvest 2 rams. So a very good partnership that really came to fruition, and saw the results this year.
Jeb, moving on, conservation section. They had to redo the State Wildlife Action Plan. Explain that.
Yeah, so the State Wildlife Action Plan, and that was implemented in the early 2000s, really a mechanism for state wildlife agencies across the country to try to look at different actions to prevent species from being listed as threatened and endangered is the ultimate goal. And so it was time for an update, and those are on 10-year increments. And so our staff worked really hard. And again, it's a partnership effort with various organizations. And so lots of networking, lots of input process going into what people want to see in that plan. And so that was a big lift, and that's moving on to its final stages. That is a guiding document for really helping with trying to look at those areas to where we can do better, and hopefully prevent something from being federally threatened or endangered.
Jeb, this fall, Habitat and Access Stakeholder Group was created. Explain that.
So one of the things, Mike, that came from the summit that happened again about a year ago was just the department feeling that we wanted to create more connectivity between people that are interested in the work that we're doing, that was talked about at the summit, increasing habitat on the landscape, access. And so we wanted to have direct conversations with landowners, with sportsmen and women that are very interested and passionate about these topics. And so again, through the summit, we put the state into quads, and we invited a group of landowners and sportsmen in each one of those quads at a meeting that we had this fall. And then now in about a month, we're going to bring them all in and talk about again some future initiatives and get their guidance and feedback on those things that are so important to us, but also needed to be guided by that group.
Jeb, a year later from the Habitat and Access Summit, we're circling all the way back here. Some positive news that just happened recently. Yeah,
I think that's a good way to put it, Mike. We really have come full circle with where we started a year ago with the Habitat and Access Summit, and where we just ended up now with a great partnership between North Dakota Game and Fish Department and North Dakota Association of Soil Conservation Districts, and an outdoor heritage fund proposal that puts grass on the landscape, and the title of that was the Governor's Habitat Legacy program, and he was very supportive of it, behind it, supportive of the collaboration and partnership, and ultimately putting grass on the landscape there, that working with individual producers that can help them out for non-productive type areas of their existing cropland, while also providing a conservation benefit and putting additional habitat on the landscape. So we're excited about that. We're appreciative of the input that we received a year ago, and the initiative that people took to help us get to this point.
A lot of great information, Jeb. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.